So when people ask me for support with marketing, they usually ask me questions like, should I get a new website? Or what do you think of my logo? How can I get more customers? Should I do more on social media? These kind of questions. And I always say, stop. These are not the right first questions to be asking. These are tactical issues, and it's difficult for me to advise when I first, having a conversation with you. So where I would always start is what I call the 5 fruitful questions, and these are much bigger strategic questions that you need to answer first. So I'm going to talk you through the 5 fruitful questions, and my recommendation is that you spend some time thinking through each of these and how they apply to your work. So question number 1 is why? Why do you do what you do? And it's really important to think this through and find the language to communicate this. You might have a sense of why you do what you do, but do you actually tell other people about that? There's a big business thinker called Simon Sinek. Some of you may have heard of. He's written a book called Start With Why, and it's all about finding your purpose. He's talking about it more from a leadership perspective, and how in business as leaders we have to be able to communicate our why to the people in the team to motivate them and get them engaged with the mission of the business. But as a solo practitioner, you may not have a team, you may not be leading other people, but your why is still really important, and for you to just really crystallize it and be able to articulate it to potential customers and other people that you might be collaborating with and working with is really important. So the why is just really being able to express your bigger vision. What is the change that you want to see in the world? Why do you do what you do? In the longer term, where is it going to get you? What's the difference that you want to make through your work? And it's also about how you express that through your core values. So just being really clear on what is important to you and what are the qualities that you want to express through your work and the way that you do your work in the world. Okay, so the second fruitful question is who? So who is your work for? Who are you here to serve? Who do you want to reach? Who do you want to sell your work to? And this is all about understanding your ideal audience or client, customer, target market, whatever you want to call them. So this is understanding the people and the types of people that they are. In marketing terms, we talk about demographics and psychographics. So demographics is information about people that you can observe just from looking at them. So it might relate to their age or where they live or their gender or other things that you can observe about the person. And it might be that you're trying to reach a certain type of person or multiple different types of people. But being really clear on who it is exactly that you're looking to reach, the more definition that you can get about that, the easier it will be. And then the psychographic piece is thinking about what's going on in their hearts and their minds, so understanding what's going on internally. And that's things relating to their beliefs, their values, their opinions on things and their personality. So you might not be able to glean this information quickly and easily. It's not necessarily something that's obvious just from looking at a person. You probably would have to have a conversation with that person to understand more about them. Or you might be able to draw inferences from observing their behaviour and their buying behaviour and their choices around how they spend their time and their money. So yeah, the clearer you can get on that, understanding who you want to be working with, who you want to be reaching, the easier it is to reach those people. So the third fruitful question is what? And this relates to what are you really selling? What are you really putting out into the world? So you might think that it's a piece of art or a workshop or something like that. But actually, what's the benefit behind it? Why would somebody take the time out to engage or put their hand in their pocket to buy that thing? And you've got to look at the deeper value that you're offering beyond the surface level physical product or service. So I quite often give the example of insurance policies. When we buy insurance policies, we're not just buying a financial product and a certificate that says we have the insurance. it's actually about peace of mind, and that's the benefit that we get from having insurance. We feel like if something goes wrong, we can call the insurance company and we can get our money back to buy a new thing to replace the thing that got broken or damaged. So that's what you need to think about. What are you really selling, and what is the true value as well? So that then links to pricing. So that helps you think about the price that you put on your service or your product once you understand what that value is. So the fourth fruitful question is how. So how are you going to reach the people that you want to reach? How are you going to put your why out into the world so people understand why you do what you do? And how are you going to communicate that value and get people to understand why the price is the price? So the how is really all about messaging and how you're telling a story around your work. So this is a lot to do with language, the types of words and phrases that you use, but it's also visual messaging, visual language. So that relates to the graphic design that you choose to use, the images, the look of the logo, the way that you're laying things out, choice of photography or illustration style to express your business brand in the world. So yeah, the more clarity that you can get around how to get your message out and how to express that through words and pictures, the easier it will be. And the fifth and final fruitful question is when? When's it all going to happen? So this is where I think a lot of people fall down with marketing. They might have a sense of all the other things, what they want to do with their business, how they want to grow it, the kinds of people that they want to reach. But often it falls down when you have to put a plan together and then stick to the plan and make things happen in a timely way. And quite often, if you are getting busy with doing the work, the marketing activity is the thing that slips down the list and it is less of a priority. So my top tip for anyone who is trying to do it all and juggle the doing of everything and the marketing is about discipline with your time and just making sure that you commit to deadlines, having some accountability from a business buddy or somebody else that can sort of check in with you to make sure that you are doing what you said you were going to do on the schedule that you set for yourself. So yeah, having a sense of when things are going to happen and some sort of structure to make sure that you stay on track and accountability to make that happen is really, really key. Otherwise, it's all very well having a plan and having all these ideas, but they're not going to happen. So yeah, that's really important, just knowing when it's going to happen and having a way to make sure that it does.